So guys, a few mottos for today's class. Think big. The other one is be creative in whatever you do. Look at this car driving over the road. The road's too narrow. Be creative and be yourself. Be unique. Look at these two people marrying. They're married with a theme of shooting bows, which is obviously their passion.
Earlier that morning, our gardener showed up to our house with something very tiny in a box. I would never have guessed that it was a wild boar. She was only a couple of hours old and so tiny. She was the size of an iPhone. We searched for her mother everywhere. In Sri Lanka, we don't have wildlife rescues here that could take a wild boar. We just couldn't leave her all by herself. We decided to call our vet friend and got to work ourselves. When they first met, Yeju flung her 2-pound body right into his mouth. I've never seen anything like it. We immediately knew that there was something special starting there. Bubu was at every step of the way to show her the ropes and be there for her. She started eating solids because she saw him do it. He always let her eat first out of his own bowl, and he always watches over her when she's in the pool. He taught her how dogs play with each other. Her bond with Bubu was instantaneous. I think she was missing her mum, so Bubu became her whole world. When she was small, his favorite thing to do was use her as his pillow. But when she got big enough, she was like, nope, now you're the pillow. And I'm just so proud of him because he was always gentle and patient with her, always. It really seemed like he enjoyed his new role of being her dad. Bubu showed Yeju how to become part of the pack. They still continue to follow each other around everywhere. It's been a year since she showed up in her box, and Yeju's pretty big now. She's gone from 2 pounds to 62 pounds. She's become a permanent family member and still lives at home with us, but we also built her her own boar condo outside so that she can enjoy a little bit of freedom as well. Wild boars are viewed as pests in Sri Lanka and can be hunted all year long, so it wouldn't be safe for us to release her back out there. Yeju's older now and she's in her teenage phase, but she still sees Bubu as her dad. She looks up to him and she leans on him for comfort. They're each other's family and will always look out for each other. I'm just so grateful that Bubu was with us throughout this entire journey, helping raise Yeju. I don't know what we would have done without him.
What if you could use your nose to snorkel, or uproot a small tree, or smell water from several miles away? Well, elephants wouldn't be that impressed. They do it on the daily, thanks to what's inside their trunk. If you were to dissect an elephant trunk, it would actually look more like the inside of your tongue than your nose. Trunks, tongues, and even octopus arms are unique organs called muscular hydrostats. That means they're made almost entirely of muscle. And an elephant's trunk has a lot of them, about 40,000, compared to around 650 muscles in the entire human body. Normally, muscles depend on bones and joints to move and exert force. When we pick up a dumbbell, for example, our bicep pulls on our forearm bones, and that causes them to swing up around our elbow joint. But in an elephant trunk, there are no bones to pull and no joints to hinge on. The muscles take on that role instead. This makes trunks incredibly flexible, so they can move in all directions. And all those muscles mean they're powerful enough to lift hundreds of pounds, yet delicate enough to pick up a tortilla chip without even cracking it. But while trunks may be structured like a tongue and function like an arm, They are, in fact, a nose, and an exceptional one. An animal's sense of smell is linked to the number of olfactory receptor genes it has. And elephants, well, they have a lot of them. Nearly 2,000, more than any other animal we know of. Bloodhounds, for example, only have about 800, while humans have even fewer. In fact, an elephant's nose is so good, it can actually sniff out bombs. People have reported that African elephants avoid landmines in Angola. And in 2015, researchers put it to the test. Elephants were presented with a lineup of buckets filled with different smells, including TNT, the main ingredient in landmines. Out of 97 TNT samples, elephants detected all but one. They use their nose like we use our eyes, to find food and water, to avoid predators, and to map out other elephants nearby. That's like walking into a family reunion with your eyes closed and knowing exactly where everyone is. But if you can believe it, there are even more tricks up their trunks. When elephants traverse deep rivers, for example, they curve their trunk into a snorkel. And when bathing, they can use it as a hose, or more like a fire hose. With one suck, a trunk can pull in as much as 10 liters of water. And the trunk's impressive abilities haven't gone unnoticed. In fact, if you stick a mirror in front of an elephant, one of their favorite activities is to open their mouth and check out their trunks.
Guys, look at this photo here, a vase thrown into the wall and it didn't break. Now this is obviously a bit of an unrealistic art piece, but it carries a message of resilience. So on a more serious side, many of your friends or some of your friends and the people you meet in the future can come out of broken homes or really bad situations where they've lost friends or family. You can offer them a message of hope. You can offer them a message that the best is yet to come. Look at this piece of this guy here who speaks about, I don't know if his wife left him or his girlfriend left him, but the perspective he had of the best is yet to come. I just want to start with these two scriptures here before I play this next piece, and you'll understand why I started with these two. You don't understand what I'm doing, but someday you will. I think a lot of people, everyone I think, wonders why certain things happen to them, especially painful things. And then this next one, do not fear, only believe.
He says, I need you to download this tape, this Sandy Beach tape. Sandy Beach is a big speaker. The speech was, he was talking about this Chinese farmer. And this Chinese farmer and his son, they're picking radishes about the ground. And they don't own the land that they're farming off of. And they're barely subsisting. They're giving 70% to the landowner. They're living off of 30% of these radishes. Their whole financial legacy is tied up into this workhorse. And one day, and the son is really working the land because the man is too old. And one day the workhorse runs up off the hill. He's up the hill. And the son runs into the house and he shakes his dad up and he says, Dad, you're not going to believe this is a travesty. We're going to die out here. I can't get these radishes to grow unless I turn this land over, and I can't move that hoe without the horse, and the horse is gone. This is a nightmare. And the old man, nonplussed, looks at his son. He goes, I don't know what this is, son. I don't know if it is a nightmare. I can't call it. And the son thinks his dad's out to lunch, or like ambivalent, or something's wrong, or he's too old. And a couple days later, the kid is chilling on the porch, and he sees the horse running down the hill with 50 wild stallions behind it. And they run into the paddock, and he locks the paddock, and he runs inside, and he hits the dad. He's like, man, she's like, we're rich. You know, we're in the horse business. We're in the horse trading business now. This is a miracle, Dad. I'm going to go tell everybody we're trading horses now. And the father looks at his son, nonplussed again, and says, I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's a miracle. I can't call it. And a couple more days pass, and the son's trying to break these horses down, domesticate these horses. He didn't know anything about horses. He's a radish farmer. So one of the horses ain't having it. He rears up, kicks him in his leg. It's like 1400s China. There's no Kaiser Permanente. It is shattered. They wrap him in some like tobacco leaves and sprinkle some mint on it. Go sit in a chair for a while, and he's wailing, and the townspeople hear about it. And the townspeople run up on the little shack, and oh man, what are you gonna do? You know, you can't domesticate these horses. You can't move this hoe. I don't know what you're gonna do, but this is pretty much the end, right? Like this is a nightmare. And the old man says, I don't know what this is. He looks at his son's leg. He goes, I don't know what this is. I can't really call it. A couple more days pass. He's sitting with his son. He's trying to calm him down. He's in the middle of pain, and they hear this thunderous noise, and they look up on the ridge line, and they see 5,000 samurai on horseback running towards their little hut. And the commanding officer gets off his horse and says, give us your son. We're going to fight the Maoist army. And he looks at his son's leg, and he looks back at the samurai army, and he goes, I would, but he can't get out the chair. You know, he can't get on his, he can't. No, I can't. I would, but I can't. He's crippled. And the man gets back on his horse, and 8,000 men ride off to their death. And I listen to this tape, and driving back from the beach back to where I'm living, and I get out of my car and her bags are packed. She's on her way out. And old me would have ripped my shirt off Hulk Hogan style, ran down the street and jumped over the fence, and that guy. And something in me, from having heard what I just heard, what feels like this is now I can't get no lower. I hear this like I can't call it. And it becomes like this, the most diplomatic breakup I ever had in my life. And I say, what can I do? And can I get you a car?
So just remember, I don't know if you heard what he said. I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend, but her bags were packed. She was going. She was leaving him. Now, this can literally be one of the worst days of his life, maybe the very worst day of his life. I don't know if he had children, and she's taking the children, and he's alone. But look at the power of the story. Look at the power of believing the best is yet to come. We as Christians can infinitely more believe that God is in control of our lives, and He says, for those who love Him, everything works out for the better. Do not fear, only believe. The best is yet to come if you are a Christian. You don't understand now what I am doing, but someday you will. Jesus promises us He is in control. Guys, here's that quote again, think big. Let's think about your passions, following your passions and getting together with like-minded people. You can only build something great if you are together with like-minded people following a powerful cause that you truly believe in. Look at this American football team down here in the next video clip. How could they not be a success with this kind of energy and passion? Guys, think big, think big. In this next screenshot here, you'll see Primerica, which is a company listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Market cap, which means the size of the company, $7 billion, about 140 billion rand. When I look at companies, the future to invest in, which one will be a success, which one will not be a success, I use the words of Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple Computers. He says, in the end, you are betting on people. Look at this founder of Primerica, those days, A.R. Williams, who started this company. You look for people with passion, energy. Get involved with people with passion and energy and like-minded people. That is the only route to success, and that's the only route to buy shares in successful people.
Tonight is a dream come true. Y'all don't know how many times I thought about this and thought about this moment and thought about getting to do this. 30 years ago, I answered an ad in the Atlanta newspaper. And I thought I was taking a job, but I was changing my life. I was joining a movement, a cause, something great. I thought I'd get a paycheck, but what I got was so much more. When I think about whatever positive I've become, a lot of it is because I got to meet this man. We're a company of destiny. Our company is built on the rock of truth. At a time when it was unpopular, this man fired the missiles of freedom at a wall of deception.
You know what? You know what? When I left coaching football in 1969 to go full time, that was the hardest decision of my business life. I had my best football team coming back. I had to give up my guaranteed salary. I had to give up my benefits. I was super excited about this opportunity, but I was scared to death. I wanted to make it so bad in this business, it just tore me up inside. I wanted to be somebody so dadgum bad, it just ate me up inside. And I didn't want some sales trainer. I didn't want some motivational speaker blowing a lot of hot air. See, I knew that somebody that looked like me and came from where I came from, to do it big, it was gonna be ugly. It was gonna be tough. It was gonna be hard, and that was okay with me. I grew up tough. All I wanted was somebody to tell me like it is. Don't pull any punches. You know what? I wore my coaching clothes tonight. I'm gonna take you to my locker room tonight, and tonight I'm gonna tell you exactly how we did it at A.L. Williams. February 10, 1977, A.L. Williams was born. Just a peanut. 85 people here in Atlanta, Georgia. But we had a cause. We had a crusade. Our goal was to correct an injustice. Our mission was to destroy cash value life insurance. Those 85 people grew to an army of 225,000. And you know what? We kicked Prudential's butt. And you know what? We kicked New York Life's butt. And we kicked Metropolitan's butt. And we kicked Allstate's butt. And we kicked 1,995 other companies' butt. In 1977, 86% of all life insurance sold was trash value. Today, 90+% of all life insurance sold is term. And A.L. Williams did that. A.L. Williams did that. Ain't that something? Ain't that dadgum something? See, the A.L. Williams legacy is awesome. We changed an industry and 1 million lives. You see, A.L. Williams was a company of giants. In 1988, when we were 11 years old, you know, there were 2,000 companies in our industry, the largest industry in the world. And I published a list of the top 100 companies. And then I plugged our big A.L. Williams teams in there. And you know what? Out of the top 100 companies in the largest industry in the world, 34 of those companies were A.L. Williams teams. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? See, A.L. Williams was a company of giants.
What a leader, mobilizing people, mobilizing people's passion, giving them a vision. No company, no institution will be great where you are not led or you lead people with a vision, with a dream, with a great ambition. Here I show Alexander the Great leading his troops before the Battle of Gaugamela, one of the greatest turning points in Western history, where the Persian Empire was crushed. Why do I show Primerica's stock chart here again? Because it's the same thing. If you're Alexander the Great, or you're building a company on a stock exchange, you build it with the best people, with a great passion and a great vision. There is no other way to build anything great. Not a sports team, not a business, not an army.
Neoptolemus, I remember you the day you jumped the siege tower at Tyre. You were a giant. And Timander, son of Menander, a great soldier to my father. I still mourn your brother Adaios, who died so bravely at Halicarnassus. What an honored family you descend from, Timander. You fight for them today. You've all honored your country. And now we come to this most distant place in Asia, where across from us, Darius has at last gathered a vast army. We are here today as Macedonian free men! Outnumbered, I say to you who know the price of tyranny, who've carried the Persian yoke too long, for I will be in the very thick of battle with you. But remember this, the greatest honor a man can ever achieve is to live with great courage in battle for his home. Someday I vow to you, your sons and your grandsons will look into your eyes. And when they ask you why you fought so bravely at Gaugamela, you will answer with all the strength of your great hearts. I was here this day at Gaugamela for the freedom and glory of Greece!
Success isn't about how much money you make, it's about the difference you make in people's lives. Never start a business just to make money, start a business to make a difference. Approach each customer with the idea of helping him or her solve a problem, achieve a goal, not of selling a product or a service. Great salespeople are relationship builders who provide value and help their clients win.
Always remember, folks, your people are your greatest asset.
You don't build a business, you build people, and then people build the business. Amazing how the quality of life dramatically improves when you get kind, loving, and inspirational people in your life. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. Fall in love with the process. What is your passion? The things you are passionate about are not random, they are your calling. Think big. Guys, I'm going to put down the story here of Spitfire again, because you don't have to build a business with hundreds of thousands of people with billions of dollars. You can build a smaller business, a smaller enterprise, but still do great things, still inspire the people under you to be even more inspired and even more passionate than people who build these huge businesses. Look at the story of this girl with her dog, and look at the amazing, great thing they built.
If you've never seen a dog on a treadmill, it's probably because you've never met a dog like Spitfire. He's a 7-year-old whippet from Olympia, Washington, and his friends call him Spitty.
He loves to sleep a lot, bark at squirrels, and pretend he's this really big tough guy even when he's not.
Of course, Spitfire is a good boy. But he's unlike any other dog on the planet. And the reason why is this.
Are you ready? Ready, go, 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 go!
He's like the Michael Jordan of dock diving.
Tom Brady.
Tiger Woods.
LeBron James.
I mean, he's kind of like Babe Ruth. No one can touch him.
Spitfire is owned, trained, and cared for by a 15-year-old high school sophomore named Sydney Mackey.
Pretty average teenager, I would say. She's a little bit shy when you first meet her. But if you talk to her about a dog, her eyes will light up and she will become much more social after that.
We're very close. I've grown up with him and he's grown up with me. My life would just be totally different without him.
Spitfire joined the Mackey family on January 17th, 2013, traveling all the way from a breeder in Massachusetts.
You better get it, Spitty. You're not gonna get any.
He had these big eyes and had this super expressive face. His original puppy name was Kite. He was named because of the markings on the back of his neck. He had a little diamond with a little string attaching to a little oval underneath it. And looking back on that photo, it's like, oh, it's kind of like you could call it a prophecy or something.
Spitfire, it seemed, was a dog destined to fly. All he needed was a runway. Since its humble beginnings 2 decades ago, the sport of dock diving now sees 10,000 dogs competing annually, spanning a dozen countries around the world. There are 3 main disciplines: distance jumping, high jumping, and speed retrieve.
7.865. He just looked at his toy and looked at Sydney and just went boing right into it on top of his toy.
He wasn't shy or scared or reserved about it. He just bombed into the water right away and went, just hold on because this is going to be fun. Like, that dog is going to take you places that you would have never imagined.
It was the dawn of a new era, the age of Team Sidfire.
Ready, 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 go, 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 go! Yeah!
Sydney and Spitfire coming out here this week and completely tearing it up.
The dominance was unprecedented. In a 3-year span, dock diving's new conquerors smashed an incredible 21 world records.
It's kind of stressful leaving school for a week, but it's pretty cool to go up and beat all the adults. And
you get to watch him, and you realize he's still in the air. He's still in the air.
He looks like a bullet. He's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime dog.
Spitfire can reach up to 30 miles per hour on the dock.
North America Diving Dog National Championships.
I guess it's kind of like the Super Bowl.
This is the largest single diving dog event ever held. Over 1,000 dogs competing this weekend in all the various divisions.
One of those dogs, Spitfire's nemesis, his arch rival, a young pup named Sounders. In the air retrieve distance finals, Sounders makes a grab of 25 feet. So Spitty needs to hit at 26 to win.
Squirrel, you see your squirrel? You want to get your squirrel? Yeah, you want to get it? All right, let's go get it. For some reason, whenever it's like a now or never moment, he always does his best. Are you ready? Ready, ready, ready! Go, go, go! Good boy, yes!
Of course he won. This is Spitfire. He ain't the GOAT for nothing. With a grab of 26 feet, Spitty and Sydney are national champs for a second straight year.
Good boy. Good boy, Spitty.
There's always going to be big jumping dogs. I'm not taking anything away from Spitty that it's an amazing dog. It's more the team and the person behind it that I think is going to have somebody else sitting here talking to you in 10 or 15 years about the legend of Sydney and Spitfire.
Good boy.
He knows who's asking him to do something.
Yeah, hey, I know, bud.
He's going to give it his all when she asks him
You gotta warm up, though.
because he loves her.
You know, I'd love for people to remember him for his versatility and also, you know, him just being a loving couch potato. I want him to be remembered for not just his athletic ability, but also us as a team and, you know, him as just a great companion.
Let's focus on another core ingredient in life, being creative, designing beautiful things, making everything beautiful. Watch these next pieces on being creative. Guys, and time also for a bit of humor. Look at this couple again. You know the guy, and I think you know the girl as well, struggling with a few relationship issues. And then look, talking about creativity, the Manscaped machine that was designed to interpret the words of a woman. Anyway, just a bit of joking around, but there's some truth in these jokes, it looks like.
The key to a great relationship is control.
Control is the thread that keeps your relationship together, and we've found that being passive-aggressive is the best way to control your partner. When Amber won't talk to me, she really helps me learn that I did something wrong. And because she won't tell me what I did that was wrong, deep down I just assume that I'm simply wrong for who I am at the core of my being.
When I give JP the cold shoulder, it's encouragement for him to be a better person, because I don't really like who he is.
I thought we could do something together today. Maybe go to the beach?
Not interested.
Or we could stay in and watch a movie if the beach doesn't appeal to you.
Hey, are you golfing today?
Yeah.
It's the second time this week.
But you said it was fine.
It is fine. It's perfectly fine.
Are you confused by female behavior? Wish you had a translator to understand what she means? Well, you're in luck. Introducing the Manslater, a revolutionary device that translates woman language into simple man words. Finally, the power to know what she means.
Okay, cool. Let me just check with my wife. Hey, babe, a tea time opened up later. You mind if I go?
Fine. If that's what you want to do.
No go! Stay home!
On second thought, I think I'll just stay here with you and watch The Notebook.
Aw, how sweet.
Now that's more like it. The Manslater uses emotion deciphering technology to help you out of the toughest jams.
Hey, is everything okay? You sound upset.
Why would I be upset?
Forgot anniversary, jerk!
Oh, no way! Happy anniversary, babe.
You remembered.
Come on, of course I did.
Thanks to the Manslater's patented FemLogic processing chip, now any man can decode statements like,
Are you wearing that?
You change, now!
Hey, do you want to get some coffee?
Me want coffee!
Do you think she's pretty?
You think she prettier than me?
Aw, you're such a good friend.
Me never date you!
I'm fine.
Me not fine!
I'll be ready in 5 minutes.
Me ready 30 minutes!
Do whatever you want.
You know do what you want.
so get your Manslater today. Clarity is just a phone call away.
You need buy me!